Well, let's talk now to Director of Migration Policy Institute Europe, Camila Cos. Thanks very much for being with us on the programme. I mean, there's been lots and lots of incorrect information on this story over the weekend, hasn't there? I mean, I even saw one American television network leading with the story that migrants had invaded northern Spain. I mean, just to clear up any lingering confusion, it's an enclave, of course, a Spanish enclave off Morocco in northern Africa. I mean, would you agree, though, that far-right groups have been trying to capitalise on the images and the language that they're using?
Absolutely. This has been what we've seen over the weekend. These events are, of course, unprecedented. There had been crises in Ceuta in the past, most recently in 2021, but this is also the first time that so many people come at once in such a short amount of time. And we've seen how these images have been used politically, especially by right-wing and far right-wing party across Europe to show that Europe was under attack. While what we've seen at the same time is how quickly Spain has responded and how the cooperation with Morocco has led to the return of most of the people who had arrived.
Do you agree, though, that there is an issue that needs to be tackled? And if so, how?
Absolutely. What we're seeing is a mix of, on the one hand, structural factors. There are many young people in Morocco and in different places further south who are looking for better economic opportunities and who are driven out of their home. While on the other end, on the European side, we're also seeing labor market shortages. And so the need to organize safe pathway, regular routes for people to move regularly. Well, at the same time, what we're also seeing is how smuggling network, but also social media and this type of situation can be can quickly mobilize a large number of young people, so that they take risks, they rush to the places, and as we've seen, 72 people have now lost their life.
So how do you counteract that false narrative then? It's not easy, is it?
No, it's not easy. And so this is also going to be at the center of the meeting that will take place tomorrow, between all the ministers of interior of Europe, because what has also been striking over the weekend is a division within the EU. While you have one member state that has been facing this exceptional situation, 22 other member states have chosen this time to, blame Spain for their regularization policy, but also call for more drastic measure on fighting irregular migration. Well, a lot is already happening between different, packages on anti-smuggling, anti-trafficking measures, and also the implementation of these new frameworks, this new policy, this common EU framework called the new Pact on Migration and Asylum that's keeping many member states busy. So what I expect to see tomorrow is, on the one hand, some of this member state calling to go even further, toward externalizing measures such as return hubs and all sorts of setup that have been discussed in recent years. And then Spain arguing for the type of cooperation, for the type of partnership that they've been implementing with countries like Morocco and that have so far delivered in terms of managing regular migration.
I mean, Italy, notably, has temporarily even suspended EU Schengen arrangement with Spain. I mean, do you see any justification for that?
It's pure political theater, because also, as has been well documented, nobody has come from Ceuta to mainland Spain. And again, at a time where the EU is trying to mend from all this past division toward building this common system, we see some member states using the situation to attack the Spanish government that is at this moment quite isolated on the European scene, given the policies that has been implemented.
I mean, it was only in June, wasn't it, that the new EU Migrant Pact came into effect. And already, we've seen this incident in Morocco, and we're seeing an emergency meeting having to be held.
Yeah, so this is what this new pact is still in its very early days. It's been, there's been a lot of work done in the past 2 years to set up all the different measures at EU external border to make sure that when people arrive, they get processed pretty quickly, and people with no right to international protection get then in an accelerated procedure to return to their country of origin. This is not yet implemented everywhere, and in particular Spain has still a long way to go in terms of different part of this pact. But so what we would expect to see in the next months is more solidarity, more support for the country with an external border. And yet what we've seen in the past few days is more division, which are a stark reminder of what happened in 2015, 2016, with member states using the situation politically for their own internal gain.
And how do you see the new migrant pact? I mean, there's been a lot of criticism, hasn't there, from rights groups saying it's much stronger. It makes it much harder for people to be able to gain access when perhaps they deserve it.
Yeah, so what we're seeing with this new pact is that people, when they arrive at EU external border, will be screened, and there will be a distinction between people who are likely to get international protection and the one who are more unlikely, for example, because they come from countries that are deemed relatively safe. So in a way, we've seen how this pact is more drastic, seeks to achieve a balance between more efficient, more effective measure, and to deter also people from trying their luck in Europe through the asylum system. And yet what we're seeing is that these 22 member states who signed a letter and sent to the Commission over the weekend is that the pact doesn't go far enough, and that more needs to be done, for example, to set up return hubs, for the European Union to fund such type of model, and to take it a step further, assessing that the pact is at the moment not going far enough in terms of sending a signal to migrants.
Camilla Coles, good to have you on the programme with us today. Thanks very much for joining us, Director of Migration Policy Institute Europe. Thanks very much.